This week, we spoke with Chair of the Fundraising Committee for the Newton COVID-19 Care Fund, Rob Gifford, on how it works and who can apply for financial help. I'm here with Rob Gifford, the chair of the Newton COVID-19 Care Fund, who, as of right now, has raised over $600,000 with an almost 800 donors. Rob, this is amazing that this fund, in such a short time, has raised so much. But before we get into the details, can you tell me what it is this Newton COVID-19 Care Fund is?
Sure. No, happy to. And just to clarify, I'm not chairman of the fund. I'm just chairman of this fundraising
You're over
committee.
the
So
fundraising.
the fund is really, there are four major groups that came together around forming this fund, and it was really inspired by Mayor Fuller. A little over a month ago, she reached out to us and some other folks to look at raising money for people who were facing financial distress as a result of the pandemic. And it involves the city of Newton. The United Way is part of the group here that's making this fund work. And United Way of Mass Bay has both contributed funds and tremendous resources. They're our fundraising portal. If you click onto those links and you want to make an application or you want to contribute, it's all under the United Way website, their backbone, if you will. They also work with the key group here in Newton, Family Access, which is the group that's actually accepting grant proposals and granting money to individuals in need. So it's really a four-part group. People like me, citizens who are mainly raising money. Then you've got the city, then you've got United Way and Family Access. So we're this coalition of four different groups or organizations, and we've come together to start this fund and raise it and now distribute aid as needed.
So how did you get involved?
Uh, Mayor Fuller, yeah, no, it's just we got a call from Mayor Fuller. She, gave me and Claire Sokoloff, my wife, who's also very active in Newton, and asked us if we would help out on the fundraising side and just getting the whole thing started. And we jumped at the opportunity to help.
And this was a little bit over a month ago?
Yeah, it was probably we got the call maybe middle of March, and then the fund was then we reached out to United Way, and they put us under their umbrella. So the fund was actually up and running by the 20th of I'm sorry, did I say May? I meant March. The fund was up and running by the 20th of March. So it's a little over a month ago.
Yeah, and in that month, as I mentioned earlier, this was, over $600,000 has been raised.
Yeah, it's astounding, and over 800 donors. And again, some of it initially was the fundraising team reaching out to businesses and individuals who we knew, who we thought would be generous, and everybody was just unbelievably generous who we contacted. And then as it got up and running and it got more public publicity, if you will, through efforts of the city and other groups, and it got spread around on Facebook groups and other ways. Just people from all over were clicking on the website and contributing. Some were giving credit card donations, other checks, others appreciated stock. I mean, that's the great thing about being affiliated with the United Way. This is what they do, and they have this great backbone as kind of the fiscal agent for the fund. So initially solicited, and then just unbelievable amounts of generosity unsolicited, really just coming in through the website every day.
So who will this help specifically?
Well, it's really targeted. Sure, it's targeted to Newton residents or people who work in Newton, or people who either have their children in childcare or in schools in Newton, or Newton first responders who are facing childcare issues, right? Because as we all know, school's out, right? Preschool programs are out. And so that's really the targeted group who, are really in need, who are below an income level, who don't have the financial resources, and they're facing immediate expenses that they really can't meet. It could be rent, it could be medical, it could be childcare, could be other regular bills. And they just, given the suddenness of the shutdown here and how many people, are facing, these sorts of financial stresses, it's really meant to be there now to help those people make it through.
Now, these funds won't go directly to the recipients, but in fact go towards paying their bills. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
So what happens is, and as if people go onto the website, you can either donate or you can seek help, and then you sign up online. If you're looking for a grant, you sort of fill out an initial, inquiry that goes to Family Access, which is a wonderful social service agency, which has worked closely with the United Way and closely with the city for a long time. They're over 100 years old in terms of how long they've been in Newton, and one of the many things they do is helping people with direct grants who are in need. And so the form goes to Family Access. Then there's a kind of an interview process where they assess your need, and then they let's say you can't pay your cell bill, you can't pay your rent, you've got childcare that you need because schools are out. So you submit to them the bills that you need to pay, and then Family Access will say, yes, this is a grant that's worthwhile. We should fund this, and then they will directly fund whether it's the landlord or the child care or the medical, the pharmacy or whoever, the doctor, whatever it is. They'll direct the cell bill. They'll directly fund those costs.
Will this be a one-time experience for them, or can it be ongoing? Do they have to apply every month?
Well, we're still in the first month, and so
Right.
we'll see, right?
We'll
But
see.
it's very clear, and we all get on the phone every Friday morning. The four different groups I described: the City, United Way, Family Access, and the fundraising group, to sort of see how we're doing and what's going on. And clearly, you know, these are month-to-month needs, and so people will be back. At this point we've basically set a limit of 2,500 per individual per family.
Mhm.
Now folks aren't asking for that much right away, so I imagine if somebody comes back next month and has the same sort of needs, we would hopefully, or Family Access would hopefully be able to repeat, but we haven't quite gotten there yet.
Right.
And
Yeah, we're still
we're
waiting.
still, and new applications are coming. I mean, they've gotten well over 200 applications.
Hmm.
The vast majority of those are fully qualifying to meet the criteria,
Mhm.
and they're processing those, and they've sent out well over $100,000 to date, with a lot of money to go out in the queue. So we're just going to have to see how the applications come in, and how much money we have. We have an incredible start, if you will, with $600,000 or over that, and hopefully that will go the distance. And if it doesn't, we may go back around and ask some of our more generous donors, or all donors, if they'd be willing to contribute more. But we'll cross
And
that bridge.
right, hopefully. How can one? I mean, you're still accepting donations, correct?
We are. Oh, absolutely. So if you just, and I think you mentioned it would be listed, it would be on the website,
Mhm.
or on your program there. If you just click on that website, or if you're not there and you can't remember the website, if you just put in your Google browser, Newton COVID Care Fund, the first thing that will pop up will be this fund, and it will be under a United Way banner, and then it'll say Newton COVID Care Fund. And there'll be a button to click. It'll describe the fund in detail, like what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Mhm.
It'll show the list of major business and initial supporter donors. It will have a button to click to give money, and if you give, you can do credit card, check, or some people have donor advised funds or other things. Whatever it is, United Way can accept it. It'll have another button that will take you directly to the application if you need support.
If you need support. Now, how can others help besides just donating? Are there other ways that perhaps businesses or residents can help? Like obviously donating is one, but perhaps volunteering at some point?
We've talked about that. The volunteering aspect is a little tricky right now,
Right.
given sort of where we are because of this pandemic. I think if folks want to do more than give, the best thing they can do is to send around the link
Mhm.
to their networks. If they're part of a neighborhood listserv, or if they've just got a circle of Newton friends who they email with, um, or Facebook, just to kind of get the word out. And the more people who see it, and they see it from a trusted friend, they'll be more inclined to give. So I think that's probably, in addition to just direct donation, that's probably the most valuable additional thing that somebody can do.
Well, this is great, Rob. What a feat you've made in a month. I mean,
Well, it's been, we've got, a wonderful team of people on the fundraising side. And then again, between United Way, the city and Family Access, it's really it's a team effort. And it's also just a sign of the amazing generosity in this community, that people have been so generous so quickly.
Yes, it has been amazing how we can all come together.
Yeah. No,
During this time.
that aspect of it's been really, really nice to see.
Well, thanks, Rob. We'll check in with you soon and
Okay.
see how it's going, or if you need
Okay.
more help with donations or spreading the word, we'll certainly help you there.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Okay. Take care.